Hi there, and welcome to the Tap Into It podcast, where each week I have the sincere pleasure of introducing a wellness professional operating in their area of genius. This week's no different. I am here with Kris Quinones, and I'm just really grateful to, as we discussed before hopping on, just have an opportunity to chat one on one, get to know who you are.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm somewhat new to the Rockies. I moved here, I'm not originally from here. I moved here about 5 years ago from the East Coast, Boston, Mass.
Oh, wow.
And was here to try new space, do some skiing, and enjoy a different surrounding from where I had been. After COVID had cleared more opportunities for us to leave our homes and expand again. I found myself out here and have been loving meeting the wellness pros in this community, including your organization, and spreading the knowledge of how we can keep this world a little bit more sane and a little bit more connected.
It's all about, right?
Yeah.
And thank you for saying it. Not such an easy task, but I am grateful and encouraged, to your point, that we have so many wonderful people locally that are doing great things and offering that support at a time when we need to lean on each other. These tools, this arcane wisdom is so appropriate. Would you not agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why I chose Colorado Springs as my specific landing point, because I could have easily, with my specialty being in Ayurveda, gone to a more densely populated area familiar with it, like Boulder or Denver. But the need actually was here, and the representation of Ayurveda was lacking here. And so I knew that was where my dharmic path was, in part to come and for however long a period of time is right for me to share my talents and skills with our servicemen and women of this country and their families that are here and need the support and don't have enough of it, in my opinion.
I agree 100%. In creating these containers of safety, like we have talked about, and you're right, there's so many amazing organizations, and I encourage everyone to find your people, regardless of which one you choose, because coming out of your homes and finding a new spot to land, even when it isn't across country, can sometimes be intimidating, right?
1,000%.
But you're doing a lot of things in person. Which is encouraging.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey. I've been practicing Ayurveda as a active yoga student and later health coach and specialist body worker. I'm a massage therapist that specializes in the traditional detox and rejuvenation treatments that are in the Ayurvedic pantheon. And now I train other wellness pros and massage therapists in these techniques and treatments and in filling a much needed gap in the massage therapy education, where Ayurveda is still represented largely as a spa model, and there is not enough of the clinical medical context that this tradition offers and deserves and needs to be honored. It's even more than a lifestyle, it's a game changer.
Yeah.
It really is an invitation. I know it has been life-changing for myself. Like a lot of wellness pros start their craft is from their own personal journeys.
Absolutely.
And I'm no different, right?
Yeah.
So growing up an athlete, I was a competitive martial artist, a competitive tennis player, ballroom dancer. So I love to move and shake, and I injured myself. I had a hip injury that later illuminated a congenital condition of hip dysplasia. And what started as a conversation of how do we just handle this acute injury became a much bigger conversation about how do I extend the longevity of this joint that is now going to be accelerated for me. And for even years, I'd say a good 5 years after the immediate surgery that I needed for the injury, I was plagued by chronic pain. It was a different pain than the pain that warranted the surgery. And so chronic pain, like a lot of people, was a personal journey of trial and error and a lot of out-of-pocket investment with money and trying to find the right practitioner and trying different modalities and ruling out the quacks from the real ones, and really taking the ownership and sovereignty that is ours to take. And that became what is now my offering of Rasayana, which is an Ayurvedic education brand, and I'm based out of Old Colorado Springs, or Old Colorado City.
Yeah.
It still is Colorado Springs, right?
Yeah.
And there I offer the hands-on traditional treatments for those committed local adults who are active and want to stay that way and ready to invest in a new change and paradigm for their life. And then I also offer trainings for the professional wellness pros, spa directors and owners to train their staff and help bring this global medicine where it's needed most and honor both the profession of massage therapy and the tradition of Ayurveda simultaneously.
Oh, that's tricky. And
It is tricky.
And I appreciate your approach because you're doing it with the layers that are required. You're giving them both the reverence that the modalities
Hope
deserve. And I think it's so cool because I'm not going to say it as well as you. I apologize up front, but Ayurveda is, like what you said, medicine and a lifestyle and an approach to whole person health and getting to know yourself on a level that I don't think everybody understands, right?
Right.
And
even more than a lifestyle, it's a system. It's a medical system.
Right.
So it's beyond what do I eat and seasonal cleanses and scraping a tongue and doing a neti pot. Sure, those are great entry points.
Yeah.
But it is an entire system of medicine that has 8 different specialties, including surgery, otolaryngology, toxicology, pediatrics. And so the branch of Ayurveda that I specialize in is in the Rasayana branch, which is the rejuvenation branch, the longevity branch. How do we not only extend the length of our lives, but the quality of it, and age with skill and mastery, not demonize it or fear it. You know, there's a lot of anti-aging buzzwords.
Yeah.
Right? And we're not anti-aging. It's going to happen. So let's just
Yeah.
do it well.
This was the original biohacking, right?
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
was. And that's, I think, part of my journey as a professional and educator of finding the common language of where I am and where I can meet people where they are, because this is not an indoctrination. This is not anything outside of an invitation for you to live in your own empowered self and do so safely and do so with a system and not randomly trying things that, you know, might not be safe or effective.
I agree. And I think what little knowledge that I have about the modality will be a great guide. And also, please bring me back anytime if I go too far. Okay?
That's a good question. What do you know about Ayurveda?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that will be helpful. So what I know about Ayurveda was taught during my yoga teacher training, which was wonderful, and I'm grateful that it was included. Yeah. But it was an opportunity for me to really get to know myself and the layers and identify with archetypes, doshas, yes, and then to take a good look at why I gravitate towards things that are kind of productive for my own health based on these doshas. Would you explain doshas, please?
Sure. I mean, doshas is a great entry point for a beginner student of Ayurveda. It's a commonly selected one because it is part of the foundations of understanding who we are and why we do the things that we do.
Yeah.
And not only who we are as organisms, but how we relate to the environment and world around us. It's a roadmap for how, as an organism, can we unify our systems and organs in a way that we can thrive irrespective of what the environment's throwing at us, right? Because at the end of the day, longevity is about your adaptability, right? And whether you're able in real time to recognize imbalances and respond in real time with compassion, with real skill, and have the results that we're hoping for.
Yeah.
And doshas are these mind-body principles. Vata, Pitta, and Kapha are the 3 mind-body principles that we all are made of, and they contain different combinations of the 5 great elements. And with those combinations, each dosha brings its own set of characteristics. And depending on the state of your parents at the time of conception is what your doshic constitution is, or your prakriti, we would say. And this is where a practitioner would help you evaluate what your constitution is through a series of visits over time, lots of questions and getting to know one another that can guide you in terms of where your vulnerabilities may lie, both in your health and vitality of the tissues themselves, and also where your strengths lie, both in the physical and all the koshas, right? All the 5 bodies. So the physical body, the emotional body, the intellectual body, the bliss body, and offering that. And doshas are a great way to start learning the fundamentals of Ayurveda and the language, the vernacular. The caveat I'll point out with doshas is that we tend to over-identify and want to slap a label right away and just know what we're dealing with. When in reality, the doshas are very dynamic. They play off one another and they respond in real time to our decisions and environment and mindset. And so as such, it's only one way of starting in Ayurveda practice. And the caveat is a lot of people in the beginning, including myself when I first started learning and studying, would over-identify with a particular dosha.
Sure.
And realize, oh no, that's not who I really am. That's the pathological state. This is me out of balance that is showing up. It's not who I am inherently. And that process, again, it takes time. There are also some specific examinations that an Ayurvedic practitioner would do, like taking your pulse and reading doshas in your pulse very differently from a Western pulse. Examining the tongue and the eyes and the sensory organs are ways to start looking at how these qualities are playing out in real time. And once you understand the rhythms, both circadian and seasonal, even life rhythms would be the third rhythm Ayurveda is always considering when we're talking about a healing approach. What season of the year are we dealing with? What time of day are the symptoms worse or better? What stage of life is the client or patient in that would be appropriate for their stage and state of digestive health, vitality, and overall capacity for the treatment itself? Yeah. These are all things we look at, and the doshas are in a certain rhythm for all 3 of those cycles. And once you learn the rhythms, which I teach in my Alchemy Club. It's a signature membership program for those members locally and internationally through my Rasayana mobile app to walk through these core competencies and learning the language and learning the roadmap as a chronic pain relief specialist and Ayurvedic body worker and health coach. Here are the components that you can really lock and load in. And doshas are a great way to start. They're a great way to start. Also, lots of workshops of local practitioners, including myself. I offer trainings and workshops. I'll have, at the end of the month, on February 23rd, an upcoming Foundations of Ayurveda for massage therapists. And we'll be walking through the foundations you need to know, including how to recognize doshic imbalance. How would you adapt your session to balance said dosha showing up at that time that needs the correction or support, and many other things. And that'll be online on Zoom. And anyone who's interested in joining, learn the foundation language and not just philosophy, but the anatomy and physiology, and really work intelligently with your craft.
I think that is a cool offering. And for folks who have some insight and awareness into these practices, I can guarantee that there is an audience here in the Springs, body workers specifically. And also, let's talk about what your one-on-one client sessions typically look like.
Yeah.
Do you have a client avatar, if you will, an example of a specific type of client that finds you and is like, oh my gosh, I've been looking everywhere?
Yeah, it's interesting because they usually come from 2 different hubs. One will be the yoga teacher, yoga studio hub, as you learned in yoga teacher training, one aspect of Ayurveda.
Because they're both Vedic sciences and systems. And so as Ayurveda is continuing to enjoy its global renaissance, it's being integrated into yoga teacher trainings more as a core component of curriculum, and I just applaud that so much.
Me too.
Traditionally, a yogi's education would be considered incomplete without the study of Ayurveda simultaneously. Same for an Ayurveda student. You would classically not be trained in Ayurveda without also studying yoga. So yoga is the system of spirituality and realization and union, and Ayurveda is the system of self-healing and medicine, so that you have a healthy mind-body to do the task at hand that yoga is asking you to do. And that's how these two systems work together. And in that, people are learning more and more, and if not through the yoga realm that they're coming to me, it's often in active adults, healthy, generally adults that are either recreational, professional athletes, people who are already likely using some biohacking methods and
Sure.
looking for maybe just a little more depth in how they're approaching their lives, not just their routines. And really, I'd love to work with people who want to learn and want to change. I definitely will refer you if you really need a mental health therapist or a marriage counselor or a clergy member. I am not those things.
Right.
I am an Ayurvedic health counselor, and I will share with you Ayurveda's lens, and that includes some philosophy, but otherwise, it's up to you.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful complement to other systems. If you are also doing acupuncture, or you're also seeing a chiropractor, or you have a homeopathic doctor that is part of your team, Ayurveda is not going to get in the way. It's a natural healing system. So I work with teams of people. So a client may come in with a history and say, well, I have my chiropractor, X, Y, Z, and I'm happy to collaborate with treatment plans and support. I do one-on-one consultations in my office.
Yeah.
Those are people who might already have an autoimmune condition or 2 or 3, or for those that need one-on-one private work versus my community forums like Alchemy Club.
Cool.
It's always nice to have a finger on the pulse in the community and actually know what these bodies are going through as their families are preparing for deployment or another move or injuries and things like this. That's the bulk of it. But my one-on-one work is increasingly limited. I am very selective in who I work with one-on-one because I'm not here to drag anyone along.
Yeah.
And you
fair.
really have to be on the ball and keep your appointments and be on time. There are ways to be a good client.
Yes.
We all know.
Yeah.
I do the one-on-one consultations, and the Alchemy Club is really where I do still feel, after years of doing one-on-one consultations, the power of the posse is its own medicine.
Agreed.
And when I find that clients who do the group coaching through Alchemy Club get their results a lot faster than the one-on-ones.
You have that accountability partner, right?
Accountability, inspiration, crowdsourcing, all of it. And that's why memberships have grown more popular in the wellness hubs, I think, in general, as people are getting the picture that there's momentum with groups. And we see that in every aspect of our lives, both positive and negative. And so if you can be more selective, in fact, that's one of the things that Swami Kripalu, the founder of Kripalu Yoga Center, where I did a lot of my Ayurveda training, had said the company you keep is even more important than your level of discipline, because the company you keep will influence you more. And so that's a big part of it, is making sure you're with the right audience. And so I try to create different audiences and communities at Rasayana, whether it's Alchemy Club or my Mind Body Book Club that I host here downtown every 6 weeks.
Cool.
And other events that we do ad hoc as the needs arise.
Yeah, that's incredible work. And I agree with what you say about the need for community, right? And I know that we get hurt in community, and I've been using this phrase a lot, but we also heal in community. And it is a worthwhile effort, isn't it, to put yourself in a position to allow others to help you be elevated in group, be motivated.
Healing's an ecosystem. It's not done in isolation.
Thank you. I so wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah.
I think that there is incredible efficacy around how long people will stay with programs and just stay true to their individual goals as well if they have that
Yeah.
support.
Absolutely. And that's where I am now more recently turning my attention to training the trainers, right?
Training the wellness pros. Alchemy Club is set up, it's there, it's running. People can join anytime. But for the wellness pros, I'm finding, again, a gap for massage therapy in particular, which is my niche of expertise as a body worker. A lot of massage therapists I've had tell me, oh, I was taught how to do Abhyanga, which is a traditional Ayurvedic massage, but I don't know, like, why I'm doing what I'm doing. Or I don't know. It was just a routine that they were taught. And that's pretty common, you know? And so, I feel like it's a need to bring more of that awareness so that we're bringing these gifts to everybody in a really competent and professionally sound way.
Agreed. And I appreciate that in the Vedic sciences, right, that we know that we were relying on, again, science. And also, one of the things that I appreciate is the treating of the spirit and not something that is incorporated, right?
That's right. Body, mind, spirit, and soul. These are the 4 components that make up life itself, according to the Vedas. And the 3 pillars that we hold up life itself are going to be our diet and nourishment. And that means more than just the food on the plate, but relational nourishment, right? Or prioritization of sleep and rest. And our prioritization of our energy as a whole. These 3 pillars are what will determine whether body, mind, spirit, and soul can integrate more successfully. And so this, again, is a system. It's not woo, it's not a religion. This is a system of medicine. And it's a wonderful complement to even allopathic Western medicine as well. A lot of my offerings, people will resource before a surgery. And we'll work together for maybe a month or 6 weeks before the surgery to make sure that their gut is in optimal health, which means fewer complications, shorter hospital stays, lower hospital bills, and costs to everybody. And so, yeah, there are different ways that you can implement it if yet you're not ready for a full-on lifestyle commitment.
Right.
And you can tiptoe in, come to a book club, and just hang out with us and talk for a little while and find out that when you surround yourself with stimulating conversation and the right people who have the same values of their health being a priority, then you'll start to see the needle get pushed.
Yes, I agree with
Yeah.
you. I think that it does take that solid support to help us bring the awareness of maybe they're onto something. And also, I really appreciate the insight into the deep dive that Ayurveda is into your own health.
Oh my
right?
gosh, in ocean, even just body work, my specialty, I'm still looking for my snorkel, you know what I mean?
There's layers and layers.
Love it.
Yeah.
I've been practicing and studying Ayurveda professionally now for over 20 years.
There's always another layer of nuance to even a lesson I've learned at the beginning, because that's what learning is. It's repetition, abhyasa, and that 1% improvement incrementally with the repetition. Those are the only changes that stay. They're not these grand New Year's resolutions that we make and then by February that gym is empty. We all know that routine. And so offering that framework and having the right communities is the first step, because no one's going to save you at the end of the day. No one's coming to save you. You have to decide if you're good. And this is where my tough love comes in and can be a little bit different than some Ayurvedic experiences, right? I very much do not want to be your guru. I'm going to be very honest. I'm going to be more of the spicy Latina cousin that's going to keep it real and tell you where you need to show up for yourself.
Yes.
And so having a good person really fight for you, that's who you'll get with me.
Yes. We all need a spicy Latino cousin to tell us to please can you put down on your chart what you ate yesterday. Is it that? Oh.
Yeah, no, I'm playful, I'm passionate, and I believe in living life well and giving people the resources and tools to reclaim their time and their lives back. And these resources and tools that Ayurveda offers are often free. They're not a supplement I'm trying to sell you, right? I'm trying to sell you the capacity to actually build back your own immune system, your frame of mind, your concentration, your discipline. And let's get to work changing this mess we got going on right now.
It reminds me of when people ask, hey, how did you lose the baby weight? Right? Well, I tracked my calories and I ate these things because I was breastfeeding and I exercised. No, but really. no, but really. How did you lose the, you know what I mean? And it's coming back to common sense medicine, isn't it?
Yeah, it's coming back to our true selves and the
Laws of nature.
Right.
And how we got so sick in the first place is when we were diverging so far from these circadian rhythms, from these systems that our own biology over millions of years of evolution have been conditioned to make us thrive, right? Yeah. And so, of course, we need to take care of those things because that's exactly who we are originally. It's like the OG, right? The original blueprint, and we've just gotten away from it. Yeah. And so coming back to it, it's simple, but it's not easy.
I agree
right?
with you.
And
I agree.
We'll be the first to tell you, like, yeah, it's not easy to commit to getting to bed by 10 p.m. or lights out at 9:30 because often that cuts into people's social time, family time, when we meal prep time, and just general living. While they're simple, they're not easy. And that's why we need the power of the posse. You need to be around other people who are similarly trying this out and do dinner together.
Yes.
Early at like 5.
Yes, I agree.
Because living, I really believe that reclaiming your vitality in such a way is so empowering that it is political.
Yeah.
And that's powerful. And I really feel like when we are a society that can think clearly and we have energy to respond out of a place of consciousness versus emotionality,
Right.
then we'll actually be being the change that we want to see. And it's not easy, and you do need people around you to do it. And in order to claim it also means you're defying what is contemporary modern culture.
That's true.
And that's not easy because that means you are culturally isolating yourself from what a majority of your family and friends are doing, which
That's
is
true.
not having dinner until 7:30 or 8 o'clock, and let's meet for drinks, or let's go to the dispensary and numb out, or let's, whatever it is, whatever your medicine is. Ayurveda says look at dosage and timing.
Correct.
Dosage and timing. How much are you taking in? Is it appropriate for the rhythm that you're in? Daily, seasonally, life stage? Are you around the right people that are going to help you digest this and metabolize it in a way that sticks and lands? And that takes, honestly, a lifetime of trial and error. That's the ask.
It does.
Right?
It
Like,
does.
it's the ask for you to keep showing up for yourself over and over and over with compassion and learn from your mistakes and
Every day is day
all
one.
those things that sound cliche, but at the end of the day are the task at hand. And you know what? You don't have to do it. That's the beauty of it too.
Sure.
You don't have to do it.
Sure.
And no one's going to force you to.
Yeah.
And yet, if it's there, build it, ride it, because I think it's really hard to do alone.
Yes.
And we're already isolating too much
Yeah.
in the name of peace
I
and
know.
self-care.
Isn't that something?
It's an interesting conversation. Even in my own personal life, I sometimes feel a lowercase s struggle with that. How am I balancing the yin and yang, Shiva and Shakti of the universe that is this pulsation of creation, rest, creation, rest.
Especially when you have such a fuel and a passion around bringing to the masses these gifts and knowing timing and presentation and the container of safety that you're creating in the ways that you're connecting intentionally in your online platform in person. And what I really hope folks understand about Ayurveda is, to me, it feels, I know it is not swadhyaya, but it feels like it to me, the study of self.
Absolutely.
Do you really want to get to know yourself? Because that's the question, firstly. And then, are you ready to fully love yourself and to choose the right decisions? projecting, right? And can you do it consistently-ish? I really like what you said about, and you don't have to do it. If you are meeting all the boxes that are helping you stay on the path of Ayurveda, great. And if you have a bad week, guess what? Welcome to being human, and we're back.
That's what Ayurveda teaches us too. It's that the purpose of Ayurveda is to understand life, not necessarily to attain and acquire it.
The rhythm that you
even,
described.
So even in those valleys of the rhythm and the mistakes or I didn't choose the best choice and I knew I wasn't choosing the best choice as I was making it, because we all do that too.
Sure.
That's part of the learning process, and it's again not to necessarily acquire life and have it be grand. It's to have the wisdom to understand it, so that when life happens and comes at us, we're prepared. We're better prepared, and while we may be injured by life, we're not shocked by it. And in that comes, I really feel an empowerment to then respond with care and impact.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And compassion for self in the situation and the experience is being presented to you so that you can handle that with care. And the tools that you're offering in the way that you are holding these containers in the trainings, it really landed for me. It is empowering.
That. And I believe passionately about it. My journey started as an injured athlete who wanted to be able to lengthen the time of her competitiveness.
Sure.
And be able to not need a hip replacement at age 30, right? I'm now 51 and I still play competitive tennis and I have all my original hardware and I move without pain anymore, right?
Wonderful.
Or when I have pain, I know exactly what intervention to do. And sometimes I don't, but I've been doing this now 25, 30 years. I know what my body, and that's the point. It's a
That's
lifelong
right.
practice. And then you can intervene sooner and you recognize the whispers and requests of your mind, body, and spirit and soul when they're just whispers and not the whole house falling down on you. And so that's why I'm so passionate about it, and just wrote a book that's coming out this year on Ayurvedic massage, Abhyanga for chronic pain, coming out with, published by Singing Dragon. And so that'll be out later in 2026, and that will teach massage therapists the classic Ayurvedic massage that is really the beginning of any self-care Ayurveda bodywork practice. Whether you're a professional or just a student of Ayurveda, you would learn self-oil massage as one of your first self-care practices, right along with your neti pot and your tongue scraping as part of your seasonal or daily routines, and fill that missing gap of massage therapy education, that you're not just performing a routine, you actually have a clinical skill set of assessing the doshas when a client comes to you wanting an abhyanga, and do you have the skill set to select the proper herbal oil to use in that session, and does it require you to learn a whole library of botanicals? Not necessarily. Does it require a 50-page chart? No, but that's why you need to come to my Ayurveda Foundation's webinar. I'll give you the basics right there, and it's 3 hours. It's a non-continuing ed course right now, but in the future I'll make it continuing ed so that those needing it for licensure have that added benefit, and really be able to clinically apply this wisdom, because massage therapists in particular are clinical body workers. That is a licensed profession. We go through a lot of training to be able to provide touch therapy. And whether you are a massage therapist or physical therapist, chiropractor, Reiki practitioner, any kind of manual therapist, touch healer, come to the webinar. It's just what you need to get a good solid foundation, and you can take any aspect of what we talk about and bring it into your own scope of practice and stay within scope and start exploring Ayurveda, and you'll see it leverage what you're already doing. It's really powerful.
I agree. In chronic pain standpoint, so
Let's talk about it.
as you may or may not be aware, I was in a car accident in February 21.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And it was this car accident that resulted in a traumatic brain injury and set me on this path towards my own healing journey. That's how it starts,
It
right?
sure does.
And wouldn't you know, it was the chronic pain that took me to study Chinese medicine, right?
Yeah.
And yoga. But I bring this up in my experience up to say that the awareness of the model that is in front of those who are diagnosed with chronic pain, who have just endured an injury, whether sports related or accident related, it is really up to you to take ownership over your health and healing journey to get to your new baseline, whether it be better than the one you used to have, meet the one you used to have, or exceed it. And that level of awareness is something that I feel these modalities are empowering folks to take ownership over those wellness journeys,
Because
right?
with chronic pain, you're not thinking clearly. You're in pain for 5 years, and you try to remember someone's anniversary date or an appointment time. Like, and it does. It affects work performance. It affects marriages. It affects your parenting. Don't
All
fool
of
yourself.
it.
Chronic
All of
pain
it.
will lead into every area. It's often a common belief that clients come to me with, that we have to first start breaking people up of that this chronic pain is not personal. It's not going to continue to pervade every area of your life. Like, we're really going to start to take command, because pain's job is to get your attention
Correct.
and tell you something is not working.
Correct.
That's its job. It's supposed to disrupt. It's supposed to command your attention and focus. Now that it's got your attention and focus, how are we going to work with it? You know, and that takes time, community, especially when it's chronic. You don't have the brain bandwidth to, at times, think about what the next step is, or how do I even find a good practitioner?
That
Right?
part.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which, by the
Yes.
way, if you're looking for Ayurvedic practitioners that are vetted, I recommend in the U.S. the National Ayurvedic Medical Association. They have a website that you can do a search by state, by name, and get specific and know you're dealing with practitioners who have been properly trained and vetted.
Very important.
I think with chronic pain, it's so complex. That's why it takes a long time to reverse, but it is possible.
I agree.
That pain often has origins in childhood, and there are other aspects of chronic pain that domino and build onto that. People can experience chronic pain from any stage of that cycle. There are these common beliefs that I often find I need to break people with chronic pain of, in that they're being punished for something or for being a bad person. This is often, when you have pain long enough, your spirit and your faith does start to
Absolutely.
get compromised, I believe.
Absolutely.
And so people will say, I did something bad, or I am a bad person, or I must have done something in a former life to deserve this. And then they throw karma and dharma and these Sanskrit words that maybe aren't quite applied fully precisely.
Right.
I feel chronic pain is very complex. It's something that I personally have walked through for many, many years, and share this knowledge in these ways for those that are ready to really change their lives. And that's the invitation.
That is incredible. What an invitation. It's one that is worthwhile taking you up on. And there's so many layers to Ayurveda. I could go down so many rabbit holes, and I won't, because I want to stay true to your focus today and into this new year that we are. Oh my gosh, do you feel it? Do you feel it coming?
I really do.
Oh, I do too.
I am so
Yeah.
excited. I am so excited for the rest of 2026. Like I said, my book, Applied Abhyanga for Chronic Pain, is coming out. And that encompasses really all of the wisdom that I've acquired up until this point. And it offers lifestyle wisdom for your general layperson, and it offers clinical application and reasoning for practitioners. And so that is really what I prioritized to be the beacon this year, to call out to those practitioners and students that really want to deepen their swim into this ocean of Ayurveda, you know, what there is at the table, so to speak. And that book is really the beacon for people to decide if they want to experience the body work hands-on, come into my office and actually feel in your body
what this feels like. It's very, Ayurvedic massage is different from
Western massage, as people know it. And Ayurveda complements Western massage really well, which my book also talks about. It's an updated Abhyanga for practitioners, including some more fascial health science, as well as longevity practices from allopathic medicine that we use as metrics.
Just all of that. No big deal.
Yeah, just all of that. I know, right? It's just 30 years of my study and passion. It is the start of, again, just coming back to seeing the gap that I saw in massage therapy education, seeing that as Ayurveda experiences this global growth and renaissance of recognition and demand, that we are properly supporting Ayurveda with a legion of touch healers that are properly educated and not doing harm and honoring. And part of the challenge, I think, for a lot of body workers looking for Ayurveda training is just discerning like what's legitimate. There are so many different lineages that people study Ayurveda from. There are different applications. There's a lot out there, and yet the classics are always going to be the same. And so that's what we'll be talking about in the Foundations webinar, really giving you a solid, like when someone asks you what Ayurveda is, to be able to confidently answer that question and honor it.
That's beautiful. And again, what a gift. I wish I could put a bow around this for people and get them to understand what it is that you're sincerely offering. And it's an invitation into self, really. Whether or not you are a body worker that can use these tools and put them in your toolbox and use them for others, or someone that is on their own healing journey and just ready to take that ownership and deep dive and say, all right, teach me. And it doesn't have to be so overwhelming, does it?
No, it really doesn't. In fact, much of Ayurveda is simple.
Yes.
The complexity comes from our own humanness
Right.
and not being in right relationship with our employer, with our spouse, with our children. And that's where the confusion of the mind sets in, and the vrittis, fluctuations of the mind, as any yogi would tell you, is the task at hand. How do we ride these natural fluctuations? The goal isn't to stop the fluctuations, because that's part of reality. It's to have the capacity to stay steady amidst the fluctuations. This is work of really brave people. It takes a lot of courage to want to change, and often it's not until you're in unbearable pain that you will change, that the change becomes urgent enough for you to actually do something different than what you've been getting away with up until that point. And I say getting away with in quotation marks, right? Like what we're able to tolerate until that pain becomes such a commander of your attention.
It reminds me of the neighbor who there's a dog next door and it's howling and nothing looks wrong. And the neighbor asks, "What's wrong with your dog? He's sitting on a nail." "Well, why won't he move? It doesn't hurt enough yet."
Exactly. Exactly. It's so true. It's so true. And sometimes it's making the mistakes quickly will allow you to get to the answer more quickly, too. So I had a really wonderful teacher once tell me, fail fast, fail often, learn always. Don't be afraid of failure. The more failures you have, the closer you are to the real answer. So go back out there and try something new, right? And at the end of the day, Ayurveda will give you the tools to have the energy and the clarity of mind to be able to actually do it.
Right. And for folks who are exhausted with their healing journey, it is sincerely such a support to have a group and a facilitator
That's right.
who can hold that weight with you.
Absolutely. And I don't want to scare anyone here listening. I'm so sick, I can't even get out of bed. And you're talking about I have to revolutionize my life. Like, I get it. Baby steps, right? And if you are that sick, then we do a one-on-one and we start with body work and we just start there and get the systems to that new baseline so that we can get to the deeper, harder work.
Right.
Because you can't do that until you're feeling well enough to do that.
Yeah.
So there's no judgment there. I want to just remind you and your listeners, as passionate as I am, and I'm very crack the whip, like but I'm a doer, right?
Yeah.
I'm a competitive athlete, competitive martial artist. And so part of my constitution has a lot of pitta dosha. Surprise, right?
Weird.
Right? Lots of drive, lots of fire, lots of luminosity. You know, I'm very clear in the direction I'm going. I'm very heated when I'm passionate about something. I like creating friction for change because that is what needs to alchemize things that need to change. And so that's very much my personality. And while I very much love the traditions and the peace that Ayurveda helps you cultivate within yourself, there too is the mastery of how to use disruptive energy. In yoga, we call this rajas, right? Rajas is the state of excitement, right? It's the energy of motion. And I like to just remind people that as passionate as I get talking about Ayurveda, don't let me scare you. You can come tired. You can come injured and ill.
Empty.
You
Get your
know,
cup filled at a book club.
Yeah,
because
say hi. Find other people who, you know, we're not alone. Don't force yourself to be alone. And take rest when you need it. And we'll be here when you're ready to get back up. We're not going anywhere. Ayurveda's been around for over 5,000 years. Systems that don't work don't stay around. Inevitably, they fall.
That's right.
And so the fact that this is something that not only is still here, but is experiencing a new wave of appreciation and global integration, I think speaks to also the urgency that we're feeling as humanity right now, to feel that connectedness in an accessible way, in a way that's sustainable, and all these words that you hear thrown around in wellness, but again, they mean something. They really do. And so I hope that any of you interested in it will reach out to me through my website at rasayana.com. There's a form there that emails me directly if you have a question. Spend some time on my site. I put a lot of resources there for you already. If there are general questions that can already be answered with some internet search, do that. If you're looking for more specific direction, absolutely reach out to me. And even if it's not in my scope or offerings, I have a vast network of wellness professionals, both in holistic medicine and Western allopathic medicine. We'll get you referred to the right person. Absolutely.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for all of your time. and
Thank
for
you.
sharing. Thank you so much, Kris.
Yes. Thank you.
I'm so grateful. And
Thanks,
folks,
everybody.
don't forget to check out Kris. We'll link everything below that she has upcoming. And when your book is released, we'll definitely have a celebration.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I'll come back.
All right.
All
Thanks,
right.
Kris.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.